Hello, welcome back to another weekly vlog. I am going to chat with you while I do my makeup so that I can film my goals video. Very delayed. It is Tuesday, July 29th. I normally film my goals video the second to last Wednesday of the month. Now, that was my rhythm when I was getting ready for the lives on Wednesdays. I feel like I've thrown in a little bit of flexibility with that, but the reason that Wednesdays do still typically work is because I want to do it I feel like the camera is crooked, I'm so sorry. I'm still very much struggling within first trimester pregnancy land, but I'm glad I can finally talk about it in a vlog and I don't just have to like fake it behind the scenes. Okay, anyway, I still typically record my goals video the last Wednesday because my childcare coverage is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. My mom watches Lila on Mondays and then she goes to daycare Tuesdays and Wednesdays. So those are the days that I for sure have someone to care for her. Now she does take naps, and so if I have to work during her naps on Thursdays and Fridays, I will, but I don't like to. I like to save those times either, well now I like it for rest, but even before I was pregnant, I like it for rest or household things or whatever. I like to try to wrap up my work on Wednesdays. And then I want to film it like as late as possible in my work week so that my editor can do what she needs to do and get it up as soon as possible. I feel like the camera is still crooked / falling, but you know what, it is what it is. I'm so sorry. I feel like this is amateur hour over here, not somebody who's been on YouTube for 7? Did I celebrate 7 years on YouTube this year? Or 6? Okay, camera, can you maybe stay still so I can finish getting ready talking? Anyway, I don't even remember what I was talking about. Filming my goals video late because I really almost didn't want to set goals this month. And if you watched the goals video that went live a couple of weeks ago, that was before I announced my pregnancy. And so I'm potentially gonna have to make some stuff up in that video. Because I don't know what I'm gonna, it's just tough. This is why it is tough to be somebody who shares your life online but you're not comfortable sharing your pregnancy yet. And I'm still waiting on the blood work. If you watched the baby vlog that went live last week, I talked about that. I'm still waiting on that blood work that will have any chromosomal abnormalities as well as the sex of the baby, which is really exciting. By the time this vlog goes up, I am assuming that I have shared that information on the internet, but I'm not sure yet on that timing of when we're gonna share all of that. I know with Lila, I think I mentioned this in the baby vlog, with Lila, we also knew when we announced but we had just found out, we announced like a couple of days after we got that blood work. So I wanted a couple of days, or I think I took a little bit more time to like sit with that before we shared that she was a girl. Whereas like with this baby, we will have that information, knock on wood, I'm assuming, a decent amount of time before we even announce the pregnancy in general. So anyway, that is not what I came on here to chat with you about while I was getting ready. I wanted to talk about something this is a topic that's come up a number of times before, and it's about getting behind on anything that you ever feel like in life you get behind on. And for me, one of the things that I have gotten quote unquote behind on in the last couple of weeks during this difficult time is my content consumption. So YouTube channels and podcasts that I love to listen to, I just haven't felt up for consuming them. When I have been consuming, I literally binge watched all of Gossip Girl again. And then I actually watched the new Gossip Girl, which I had never actually watched. I kind of liked it. I know it was kind of hit or miss. And I understand if you compare it to the original, like that's not fair. But if you think of it as like its own standalone show, I actually kind of liked it. But anyway, I have not been up for watching any of the YouTube channels that I like to watch or any of the listening to podcasts. So yesterday was a little bit of a rough day for me, but I was able to kind of sit on the couch downstairs and do some like lower energy activities. And while I did that, I went through my watch later folder in YouTube and then my like unlistened episodes. I switched to listening to podcasts on Spotify. I don't know if I ever talked about that. I used to listen to podcasts in a different app, and then at the end of the year, I would get so jealous of everybody like Spotify being in the top listener of XYZ, so I switched to Spotify. So I went through them and I was like, okay, look, there's a lot of content here. There's a lot of content. And you could take the time to listen to all of this, to watch all of it, to, play catch up But then I also know that these creators are still going to consistently be putting out content that I'm going to be continuing to try to play catch up with. And I think where we get hung up with this kind of stuff is we think it is like all or nothing, where it's like, then I'm going to clear out every podcast and just start fresh. And I was like, I don't want to do that either, because some of these creators, I really, really like what they have to say. And I'm sure there's something in here that's valuable for me. So you know what? I'm going to go through and I'm going to pick which YouTube channels and which podcasts are important to me to listen to. I was like 3 or 4 weeks behind on most of them. So there were some YouTube channels I had like, they uploaded 2 a week. I think I had like 6 from one, like 3 or 4 from another. Like, you know what I mean? It kind of varied. And then the podcast, I had like 3 or 4 from each podcast. And I was like, I'm going to pick my top 3 in each category that I'm going to go play catch up and listen to. And then the rest of them, I'm going to let them go. And there's one exception. I'll tell you the bonus one exception. But otherwise, I was like, I can't consume all of this, but it doesn't need to be all or nothing. So what I thought it would be fun, after I've now been talking for a very long time, is to share with you what those were, what my top 3 YouTube channels are and my top 3 podcasts are that I made a pretty good dent in YouTube yesterday. The podcast, I still have a ways to go, but that's okay. I feel better looking at the list that I have to listen to now, as opposed to what it was when I started this process yesterday. So let's start with YouTube. And I would invite you, I would love for you to share in the comments what your top 3 are, if you can narrow it down to your top 3 like YouTube channels or your top 3 favorite podcasts. So number 1, actually, I feel like none of these YouTube channels should surprise y'all. Like, these are YouTube channels that I've been watching for literal years, and these shouldn't surprise you. So the first one is Jessica Braun. Sorry, I don't think I can talk and do this at the same time. I have been following her channel for years, since I started watching beauty YouTube, I don't even know, a decade ago. And then she has transitioned to more to like lifestyle and family stuff, and she has 2 young girls. And I love when she shares, I feel like the camera's still tilting, you guys, I'm sorry, you're coming along for the ride. I feel like she shares a lot of parenting stuff that I like to listen to. They share a lot of Disney stuff, and we're going to Disney. Actually, by the time you are watching this video, we will be at Disney World. That's crazy. Oh my gosh. Yikes. I have a lot of planning to do on that front. So Jessica Braun, love her stuff. What I did do though was any of her videos that were strictly beauty, I skipped. I felt like I was like, I don't need to watch these. But any of her vlogs or like favorites videos, I kept those. Next on the list, Justina. You also saw this one coming. I talk about my friend Justina a lot. She has a YouTube channel that is focused on health and fitness, and she is certified in a bunch of different things that I don't even know what they are. She is an amazing instructor, an amazing coach, and her YouTube channel is meant to provide knowledge and information. Okay, I actually didn't mean for this necessarily to be a pitch for every single one of these, but you know I love Justina, and I wanted to catch up on all of her videos. So that one. And then the last one is Sarah. And this one is cheating a little bit because she has 2 channels, her Heart Breathings channel and her Sarah Cannon channel. So I do love her Sarah Cannon coffee chats. I don't typically join them live, but I always catch the replay. Luckily, she was out of town for a lot of June as well. So I think I only have 2 coffee chats to catch up on. And then of her heart breathing stuff, I don't typically watch the videos that are strictly for authors. Like, she has a video, I think that was like about plotting or something like that, something author related. I'm not gonna watch those because that doesn't apply to me. But her heart breathings videos that are about, actually this morning while I was curling my hair before I started talking to you, I was watching her video about getting out of a negative spiral. So good, highly recommend. I'll link it for you down below. But getting out of a negative spiral. So I had a handful of videos from her as well. Again, the more mental health, mental mindset stuff on heart breathings, and then her weekly coffee chats. Okay, and then podcasts. So the top 3 podcasts. Again, some of these shouldn't surprise you because I have mentioned them in vlogs, or especially if you listen to the podcast I have with my sister, I have mentioned these. So the first one is The Lazy Genius. Okay, that's a podcast I've been listening to for a very long time. It's probably one of the first podcasts I ever listened to. I will not skip an episode. I love everything she does. Kylie Kelsey, I mentioned this in a vlog when I first started listening to her podcast, and even as a Cowboys fan, man, I have a lot of respect for her and the Eagles organization now, and I just love everything she does. So I love listening to her episodes. Her guests recently haven't necessarily been people that I'm super into and like super excited about, but I do still feel like that's a fantastic podcast and one of my favorites. I also feel like there's something to be said for her podcast and this next one, I'm going to say that I've been listening to it since they started, which wasn't that long ago. And so I have listened to every episode. So I'm not going to skip them. The last one is Alona Mara's podcast with her sisters. I mean, I'm obsessed with her, okay? I just love her so much. And her podcast with her sisters is fantastic. I love their banter. I love their energy. It's just the freaking best. So I wanted to play catch up on those as well. And then the one caveat. So another podcast that I have mentioned before that I decided was not in my top 3, and I'm not going to worry about playing catch up, but there was one episode that I had to listen to. And the podcast is Conversations with Cam. If you've never heard me talk about her before, Cameron she used to live in New York. When I first started following her, we both lived in the city. I can't remember if she'd already had her son or not when I started following her. But regardless, I felt like we had very similar lifestyles. She works for herself. Her business is very different than mine. She is true influencer and makes a decent income from her podcast, whereas my podcast with my sister is literally just for fun. It costs money, doesn't make us any money. I do feel like we have a lot in common. She lives in Jersey now. They moved out to the burbs, and she's since had a second kid. And I do really like her podcast, but again, I was you've got to be picky here. However, her little sister got married a couple weeks ago, and they had an episode recapping the wedding. I had to keep that one. I was I can't let go of that one. I need the wedding recap episode. So I got rid of the rest of them, but I kept that one. So those are my top 3/4 in each of those categories. Again, I'd love to hear yours down in the comments. Not that I need more to listen to, but I love hearing what people, and also I am not asking for you to share your top 3 because I'm expecting to be in there. That is zero why I'm asking. Why I'm actually asking, what I'm really curious about is who else you watch and who else you listen to and what other content creators you really enjoy consuming. You're sitting here listening to me babble. I would love to hear who else you love to listen to babble. But okay, it's time to stop rambling and go film this video. Okay. Hi, if this clip looks different, it's because it's on my phone. I'm going to try this a little bit more because I think one of the issues I feel like I've been having with vlogging, in addition to being pregnant and not feeling like picking up the camera, is taking the camera with me because it is heavy and bulky. And my phone is good quality. It's probably not as great, but guess what? It's right here. And so when I have something I want to talk about, my phone is right here. So anyway, I am sitting down in the basement waiting. My mom is actually picking Lila up from daycare because there's a heat advisory. And she was like, I do not want you walking. So I will pick her up in the car and bring her to you. So I'm waiting for them to get here. And I brought my Kindle down with me, which reminded me that I did finish a book since the last time I talked about books. And so I need to talk about that book. But then I also wanted to talk about one of my goals that I have been kind of hit or miss on because I've just been wanting to, like I said, binge watch a TV show for the millionth time, is reading before bed. And it's time to start a new book. And I was like, if I read it now while I'm more awake and it's not right before bed where I want to doom scroll or watch Gossip Girl, I finished Gossip Girl. I've moved on to Gilmore Girls now. I think I might be more excited to read it. So the one I just downloaded that I just got from the library is Malibu Rising. I guess I went on a hold spree of Taylor Jenkins Reid. Also, y'all, my library decreased the hold number, the number of books I'm allowed on hold, which I don't know why, but I'm only allowed to have 5 books on hold right now. I used to be able to have 12, and I don't know what happened. So anyway, but the book I finished was also Taylor Jenkins Reid, and it was called Forever Interrupted. I don't know where I got this referral. I feel like every time I mention books, I talk about this. Most of my referrals come from a friend or a family member or the Lazy Genius newsletter. And this one was good. I know I've read other Taylor Jenkins Reid's books. I can't think of what they are at the moment. It was good. It was not that exciting. Not a whole lot happened. It did and it didn't. So the really inciting incident happened at the very beginning. And then the rest of it was kind of just it was the way that it was written. Well, there's multiple timelines. I'll tell you that much. So if you like books like that, there's two timelines going on. There's the past and the present. And I mean, it's good. The character development is good, but it just wasn't all that exciting. So I think I'm going to give it 3 stars. But I know that the Malibu Rising one, which is the next one I'm going to start by her, was apparently a very, very popular book. So I also went ahead and downloaded another one that I had come available, which is how I realized I only, I had more on hold, and then I had 2 come available, and then I went to place more, and it was you're already maxed out. And I was like, that's not possible. I just had books come off. And it's because I have more on hold they didn't take away my holds. They just dropped. So right now I've got 8 out of 5 is what it says, which is just so bizarre to me. Anyway, The other one I downloaded is None of This Is True. So I wanted to make sure that I had, I don't know who I think I am, but I'm going to like read on this trip, given that I have a toddler and we're going to be with family. But I don't know, we're like planning to go to the pool, and I'm hoping with like all these other adults at the pool, maybe like I could just lay there and read my book for a little while. We'll see. So I wanted to download a backup book just in case. Also in case we're like on the plane or something, which again, I'm not reading on the plane right now. I'm entertaining my almost 2-year-old. But anyway, also the flight to Baltimore is all of like an hour and a half maybe. So I have 2 just in case. And with that, my mom just said they're almost here. So after all that babbling, I was going to try to read for a couple minutes, and now I may have like a minute. Okay, well, since we've already realized I'm not really going to get to read, as I'm clicking through the start of this book, it lists all of her other books here. And so the ones I have read, Daisy Jones and the Six, which I thought was good. I wasn't as obsessed with it as other people were, but I mean, it was cute. I liked the TV show. But then The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, I liked that book. I really liked that book. And then I think I read After I Do, but I don't really remember what happened in that book. I think I read that book the year we got married. I was trying to read like all wedding themed books because I thought it was fun. And I don't remember what happened. So those are the books I have read by her. All right, back on my phone camera. I do remember one of the concerns is that you can't hear me as well. I'm hoping with my AirPod in, you can hear it picks up my voice. I wanted to quickly talk about something. It's Wednesday, by the way. Something that does annoy me about Chicago are these 6-way intersections. So Chicago has a handful of streets that go diagonally, and like New York had those too, but for whatever reason, New York, the diagonals crossed in between. Well, it was only one, just Broadway, and it crossed in between the avenues. So we never had to deal with these giant 6-street intersections. They're just my least favorite thing. Like literally at this intersection, I needed to go straight across, and I had to cross 3 different streets, like wait for 3 different lights to do that. So anyway, I'm also in this really cute park that we have called Oz Park because the author of the original Wizard of Oz book is from around here, and it's got all the characters. So you can see the Tin Man behind me, and then the Scarecrow's right in front of me. That's the other thing. I can't easily flip you around when I'm recording. Like I can't switch from front camera to back camera. There's a Scarecrow. Anyway, I just dropped Lila off at daycare, and now I'm walking over to my friend's house, already out of breath because pregnancy. One of my good friends that lives here in Chicago bought a new puppy. And the original plan was that I was gonna pick Lila up from daycare and we were gonna walk over together to see her new puppy. So Lila could see it, but it's supposed to rain starting at like noon for the rest of the day. So that plan had to get changed. So I'm gonna go now and see the puppy now. And then I think I'm gonna go work at my mom's. So I have all my stuff with me. That's probably also contributing to my out of breath is my heavy backpack. But anyway, I get to walk through this beautiful park, and I'm gonna go see the puppy. And I'm so excited. Hi, cute boy. Oh my goodness. He's so cute and small. Oh my goodness. You're a baby. You're so cute. Actually, we're on like the same timeline. He's 10 weeks, you said?
Yeah, 10 weeks. We kind of
I'm like 9.5.
Yep, we kind of
That's so funny.
He's literally 10 weeks today. His birthday is May 21st.
So you and baby are basically the same. Gestationally. Little Peanut. So cute and small.
He also has so much extra skin. It's like a flying squirrel.
He'll grow into it.
Maybe he's gonna be over here.
Thank you, boy. Oh my goodness. Okay, my hair's looking a little crazy. It is still very humid out. It has cooled down significantly, but it's still super humid. I forgot to put my AirPod in, and of course somebody is cutting grass right there. Anyway, freaking cutest little puppy. So sweet. Now I'm headed to my mom's, although my mom just said that she is leaving to go to an appointment, but I have my own key, so it's fine. And I really need to like sit down and focus and get some work done. The good news is that my friend had an appointment that she had to leave for. Otherwise, the two of us could have like sat there and gabbed and played with puppies for hours and hours and hours. But anyway, off to my mom's. My ice cream tea is almost gone. I can't remember, my brain, if I talked about this in the baby vlog, but I did eventually, just like with Lila, get to a point where coffee just sounded absolutely terrible. It still does, which really sucks. But I still get a green tea. I buy the green tea from Trader Joe's and keep that at home, or I get green tea from Dunkin' or Starbucks. It all kind of tastes the same to me, to be honest. To get some boost of caffeine, I gotta get a little caffeine in me because I'm just tired all the time. So, all right, time to focus. All right, I'm gonna be honest, I'm still a little nervous to vlog here in Chicago. I don't know what it is. I never had that fear in New York, but here I'm kind of still unsure. Anyway, I just ran to a deli near my mom's that, thank God that place opened up, because there was nothing like really close to her to just like be able to grab lunch quick. And I grabbed sandwiches for me and my stepdad, he's working at home. And then that iced tea lemonade just looked and sounded delicious. And then some gummy bears popped into my bag. I still have been having like sweet cravings this pregnancy compared to salty, but that's always been the case for me. But I have been craving a lot more like fruity sweet, like gummies, Jolly Ranchers, like that kind of thing. The gummies from Trader Joe's have been my go-to. Hello, it is Thursday. I just put my little girl down for her nap. We had our normal, sorry, I'm slightly out of breath from running up the stairs. We had just our regular Thursday morning activities. We get up, we go to ballet class, and then what we have been doing while the weather's been, well, somewhat nice, we go to a bagel place nearby ballet and grab a treat, snack for me, an iced tea to keep me going, and then we usually go to a playground that's around there, and Lila gets all her wiggles out, gets all her energy out, and then by the time we usually take the train to and from ballet, so by the time we take the train home, it's like almost time for lunch and then nap time, and that's our typical like Thursday routine. I don't usually make plans on Thursdays and Fridays. It's just me and Lila days. We have ballet on Thursdays, swim on Fridays, and I don't usually plan out those days. But because we are leaving tomorrow morning to go out of town, I have both a couple of work things that I need to wrap up, as well as like that I actually didn't get done earlier this week when I was having a bit of a rough morning, and then some personal things that I definitely need to check off. So I am going to go ahead and make a plan of the things I need to get done today, ideally during her nap, and then my mom is going to come over for a little bit to help. My husband, Sam, is actually out of town just for one day. He had a one-day training today in person. I don't know why they couldn't do this virtually in Dallas. So he flew down there last night. He is there all day today, and he comes home late tonight. And then we literally are like turning around and going to Baltimore in the morning. So if he wasn't out of town, I would have just tried to get this done during her nap and then in the evening, and she could hang out with Sam. But because he is gone, I'm having my mom come to help for a bit. Very, 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 very thankful. That is the big reason we moved to Chicago, so that we could have family help. So my mom's gonna watch her for a little bit, like between her nap and dinner time, so I can get these things done. So let's make a plan here for work, which I think is what I'm going to prioritize first and get done, or hopefully get done during her nap. Although I say that, the first thing I'm actually going to do is I have one final load of laundry before I can really pack. Well, that's not true. I can start packing. I've already made my packing list. I know. I've talked about these before. No, I do not plan to share my packing list. This is my personal thing. I literally just make it in Word. Okay, super easy. I have a grid at the top that I usually just put the days that we're going to be gone and what I need for each of those days. So like tomorrow, travel, we're planning to swim, and then we have dinner plans. Same thing on Saturday. Sunday is Sam's grandmother's unveiling. I think I mentioned that already, that's why we're going to Baltimore. And then we come home Monday morning. Super quick trip. And then I highlight the things that I need, and I make any notes, like the jacket I want to pack is my jean jacket. And then I have the same one for Lila. I had a version for her when she was a baby, like 0 to 1, and now I have a version for her as a toddler. And it's still like pretty accurate. I'm not gonna share Lila's because some of it includes like Lila's like personal preferences. But the categories on Lila's list are clothes, bathing, sleeping, play, diapers, eating, swimming, big stuff, so like car seat, stroller, etc., and then diaper bag. I feel like there was something on hers that I realized she didn't use anymore. Now I can't remember what it is, but whatever, it doesn't matter. So I have the same, like I go through the same process as I do with hers. Hers also has the same section at the top, so I have the outfits that she's gonna need, and then I have highlight what she needs. The good news is, I can't remember if I talked about this, we're going to Sam's aunt and uncle's, and they have a grandson, and so they have like most of the things that we need, like crib and you know, toys and books and wipes and a high chair. And like, she's like, you really don't need to bring anything except for like clothes. Now that's not totally true. You know, there's some specifics for Lila that she will want, but it does make things a lot easier for this trip. So I've got the packing list ready to go. I can start working on those without this laundry, but first things first, when I'm done filming this clip, is get that laundry going in the washer. Okay, work-wise, I have 1, 2, 3. Why did I think there was something else and now I can't remember what it was? Okay, I'm gonna do my communication routine and respond to some texts and stuff. I need to prep the goals video that I filmed 2 days ago. My editor finished yesterday, and then I need to get that prepped. And then I need to send emails to the attendees. I'm just confirming like all the other events over the course of the weekend, how many people are going to be at each one, so I can just prepare accordingly. And I also want to make sure I have all the names correct for the name tags, so I'm going to send out that email. The other thing, let me quickly show you what I have been working on for the event. By the time this video goes live, that will have already happened. I'm making friendship bracelets for everybody. How cute did these turn out? My friend Lisa, who is like super, super awesome and crafty, she made me one with Lila's name when Lila was born. And so I messaged her and asked her for all of her recommendations for like supplies, and she sent me all of her suggestions. And so here's I'm doing 6 different like phrases or words on them. So they'll be, you know, kind of a hodgepodge of bracelets. Okay. I could have sworn there was one more work thing, but my brain cannot remember what it is. Oh well, all right. Personal, obviously, is packing. Getting that last load of laundry. I want to tidy up. The first floor is kind of a disaster. I might do that first. I also have 2 Amazon packages. I'll share with you some new things I got Lila for the plane. We haven't been on a plane since April, which is actually probably the longest stretch for her without traveling. And then personally, I want to wash my hair and shave. Now, some of this also could happen after Lila goes to bed, but nowadays I am usually, by the time Lila goes to bed, I am like donezo personally. And we also have to get up early. Our flight's at like 7. So I want to go to bed shortly after Lila goes to bed. I think that is it in terms of what absolutely has to get done. There's a couple, like, I'm debating whether I even put them on here. There's a couple like nice to-dos, and I don't know if I want to put them on here and like pressure myself to do them, but I also don't want to forget them. Let's just add a little category down here for maybe. So one of those maybes is planning next week. I mean, if I get to that, great. If I have to do that Monday morning when we get home, like, it's not a huge deal. Okay, let's get to it. I still have the camera set up, and I remember what the last thing is. I want to make sure that I get this vlog closed and uploaded in order to, so if my editor wants to work on it while I'm gone, it's done. And that's gonna take a couple extra minutes. This is something I will definitely do when Lila goes to bed, because of all the clips I filmed on my phone yesterday. It's gonna take a little bit more like organizing so she knows what order things go in, but that's the last thing. Okay, here's a couple things I grabbed from Amazon for our trip. Again, this is a really short like weekend trip, and normally it's not something I feel like I would need to buy new stuff for, but a couple things. A portable charger. I've talked about this before. I love this one. My sweet, sweet little girl broke mine. So I'm not gonna go into that, but she broke it. So I grabbed just literally the same one. I've been kind of surviving without it because frankly, we haven't been going anywhere for super long stretches of time, and I could just keep my phone charged, but I know traveling, I'm gonna want, this is like a just in case kind of situation. And then these are the things I grabbed for Lila. So we love these indestructible books for travel just because they're so thin, like they're so nice and thin. So we have a couple of other ones. If you know, with a toddler, there is nothing better to keep them occupied on a trip that something that they have never seen before. So not that they're like, our other ones are totally fine, but I wanted some new stuff for this trip. So I got her this one. She's been really into a different book that we have about cars and boats and stuff like that. So grab this one. This is another type of book that we have a lot of versions of. So the most famous one is like Baby's First 100 Words or something. She loves that book. We have the 100 Animals one, also a big fan. I also got her the 100 Christmas words at the holidays. I think that one, you can typically find these, by the way. I don't know about this particular one, but definitely the 100 words, and I got the Christmas one at like TJ Maxx or Marshall's. But I saw this one on Amazon when I was browsing, and again, just new, something she's never seen before. So it's got all the numbers, it's got all the colors, and then it's got shapes. Oh my gosh, sandwich, that's so funny. Oh, and then it's got some opposites. How fun. I clearly hadn't opened it yet. Huh, I like it. Cool, so new. And then this is a different version of something I got her when we went on a trip. I can't remember if I ever shared that in a vlog. When we went on a trip in January, I got her versions of these, and they didn't like survive the trip. Like they didn't come home with us, but these are puffy. So the ones I got before were just like thin, re-stickable stickers. And it was a package of 3, and she did really like them. So I had one for the flight there, one for the flight back, and then I gave her one on our flight to Houston in February, and then that was the end of that. So this is a set of 5, and again, I'm only gonna plan, I'll pack one for the flight there in the diaper bag, one in the suitcase for the flight home, maybe one more in order to have it, is it 5 or is it 6? Vehicle, dinosaurs, space, farm, I get 6, wild animal, ocean world. Okay, perfect. So I have enough to then also have for our Orlando trip. So I'll probably take 3 with us on this trip and save 3 for that trip. But this one is puppy stickers. And so I think these will just be a little bit more sturdy. I don't know. I mean, they're still reusable. So hopefully it can last more than one trip. But again, key here is it being new. Sorry, this is really tough to do with one hand. Okay, so we got our ocean friends, our dinosaur friends. Oh, she's gonna love this one, the cars and stuff. Farm animals, so fun. Like jungle animals, and then space. So cute and so fun. So, yeah, really excited about this pack, 6-pack, and that is what I got new. Again, it's not a super long flight, so hopefully between these couple things and then toys that we already have, we should be good to go. We're also flying Southwest, and I completely forgot to check in this morning. I feel like ever since we had Lila and we started traveling with her, I've been like not prioritizing checking in because family boarding is between A and B. And so I checked in maybe like an hour after our flight time, and we got B50 something, all 3 of us. So I'm not expecting it to be a full flight either, which is always super nice. I feel like I teeter the edge. I know that like kids are gonna be kids, right? I'm gonna do my best job as I can as a parent for my kid to behave as best as she can on the plane, to not disturb any of the other fellow passengers. But at the same time, kids are gonna be kids. But one of the things I like about Southwest is, I think they are planning to change this at some point, that you get to pick your own seat. So one of the things we always do is we pick a row that has nobody else around us. So you are choosing to sit either in front or behind us with the kid. We don't, so that like you're choosing that, right? We go to the first empty row that we can find where we have nobody else. So that's one of the things I try to do on Southwest. I know Southwest is changing so many things, and it's so frustrating for a lot of people. It still is like a really good price for us out of Chicago to a lot of places. It's a big hub here. And I'm actually a Southwest credit card holder, so I do get a free checked bag. And frankly, that's all we need. We're gonna check one bag and carry on one bag. That's how we're gonna operate this trip, which we've done before. I know I've mentioned that in prior packing vlog videos. We have a carry-on that's got heavier stuff, so I'm not worried about the checked bag being over 50 pounds, and stuff I don't want to miss, like stuff like Lila's sound machine and like things if the suitcase gets lost. And then we check one bag, and I kind of just mix and match all 3 of our stuff. Sam laid out all of his clothes before he left so I can pack his stuff with our stuff. So anyway, if you do still like to fly Southwest, the Southwest credit card, I've actually had it for years and years and years. It does have a fee, but you get a good amount of Southwest points once a year. And I mean, now you get a free check bag. So if you fly Southwest, I think there's like a referral bonus. I don't know. I probably should have checked this before I just started talking about it because I was thinking about our trip. But I'll link it down below if there is, like, I think if you use my link, you get a bonus and I get a bonus maybe. I don't know. Anyway, okay. Time to stop babbling and to start checking the things off of that list. All right, it is later. Lila I just put her down. I put her down a little bit early because we have to wake her up a little bit early to get to the airport. And so I just wanted her to get as much sleep as she possibly can, especially because when we get there tomorrow, I'm gonna aim to keep her on her normal schedule on Central Time, so essentially we're pushing everything back to be on East Coast time, so that we're not rushing out of things at night. And then she sleeps in a little bit in the morning is the goal. But let me show you everything I have laid out here that's ready to go. So like I mentioned, this is our larger suitcase. It's actually the medium away. The large away is like basically impossible to not make it over 50 pounds. It's just really difficult. So this side has all of our clothes, mine, Lila's, and Sam's, except for a couple things I'm putting in the carry-on. Then Lila's diapers, a couple snack food things, my makeup bag, and then my toiletry bag is almost packed. And as soon as I'm done with that, I will throw that in there. And then this is the pile that is going into our carry-on. I'm waiting. I should have thought this ahead and told Sam to take a different bag. My personal, like small size away is messed up, and I need to, one of the reasons I bought the away suitcases is literally for the warranty. And in fact, we use the warranty. I don't know why I'm standing instead of sitting and telling you this. We use the warranty on this suitcase. This is a brand new suitcase. Sam's was broken, and I submitted a claim and they sent a whole brand new suitcase, and I need to do that with my small one. Oh my gosh, I have the hiccups. So if you've ever been considering away luggage, highly recommend. But I don't like to travel with my small one unless I absolutely have to. And so I usually like to take Sam's small one. Well, he took it with him on this work trip. So this is the pile that needs to get into the small suitcase when Sam gets home. We'll see if I wait up for him. His flight was delayed, and so now he's not landing until later. And by the time he gets in an Uber and gets home, I don't know. This may be a morning project, but it won't take that long. But essentially what this is a change of clothes for each of us in case our suitcase gets lost, all of our swimsuits, because that's the plan for tomorrow when we get there. So I just want to make sure we have those, and then some extra snacks for both me and for Lila, and then both mine and Lila's jean jackets, and that's basically it. So that is the pile that's going into the carry-on. And then this is our diaper bag, and that is all packed and ready to go. Like literally I could zip this up. I was waiting I could not find these headphones. I was a little bit panicking, if I'm being honest with you. This is all zipped up and ready to go. All I will add to this in the morning is mine and Lila's water bottles on either side. And then I have my fanny pack as well that has my Kindle, the portable charger, and I'll put my phone in there, and my wallet. And that is it. And then downstairs, packed and ready to go, which I'm not going to go right now and show you. Sorry. I guess you don't need to look at that stuff while I tell you. Downstairs, the other two things we take is her car seat in our car seat carrier thing that's actually a backpack, which is cool that it's a backpack, except that Sam usually takes his backpack because he pretty much always travels with his laptop, and then I'm wearing the diaper bag, so we usually just carry it like a regular bag, so it doesn't really help that it's a backpack, but maybe someday it'll be helpful. And then the stroller gate check bag thing, the bag that we put the stroller in when we gate check it. So that's it. That's what we travel with. So what do I have left? I'm going to do the dishes. Sam, I know I mentioned this in vlogs. That's usually his chore, but by the time he gets home tonight and we have to get up early, I don't want him to worry about it. So I'm going to get the dishes done. I have 2 toiletry things I need to locate and put in my bag, and then I will put it in there and zip that up, and that suitcase will be done. I'm going to check and make sure it's under 50, but I'm pretty sure it is. I've definitely stuffed that thing with way more stuff and had it be under 50. So, and then that's it. I'm gonna get this vlog closed and uploaded, and then we are good to go. I feel really good about my timing of things, and that I'm gonna get into bed at a good time tonight because I am exhausted, and I've just been sleeping a lot. I'm just exhausted. Pregnancy exhaustion is a real thing. So yeah, I just need a good night's sleep before we have a long travel day. Although truthfully, what I'll probably do tomorrow is nap during Lila's nap. I'm also struggling. Obviously, by the time this vlog goes live, we will have figured out what to do. But my current struggle that I'm so frustrated with is, I've mentioned we've been waiting for this blood work to come back. And once we got that, we were going to feel good about telling Sam's family this weekend, and it hasn't come back. And I'm I'm sure everything is okay. I'm gonna be 10 weeks this weekend. I'm sure it's all gonna be just fine. But it is I'm not totally comfortable telling them yet. But at the same time, I don't think I can fake it all weekend. It's one thing to go to an event and make it through without it being obvious that I'm like not drinking, or that I'm a little bit like less chatty, or that we're gonna leave a little early, or that I have to go throw up in the bathroom. Like, sorry, that's a little gross, but like that is my current existence right now, are all of those things. I am extra tired. I'm not drinking, obviously. Oh, and I totally felt like somebody was gonna call me out. We were at a barbecue a couple of weeks ago, and the guy was making these like really awesome burgers with like grilled onions, and I literally was like, can I just have mine plain? And I felt so bad because like that's not my norm. Like normally I would be getting the fun like cool burger with like all the extra toppings, but like I can barely stomach an actual just plain burger right now. So it's one thing to cover it and like play along for an event, but like with his family over the whole weekend, I just feel like it's gonna be more exhausting to do that than just like playing with telling them. So anyway, we'll see what we decide. I need to just like have a conversation with Sam in person. We started texting about it earlier, and I just was like, okay, let's table this until we see each other. So we'll make a decision, and it's gonna be what it's gonna be. We can't control it. We can't change it. We can't change that the blood work didn't come back. They said 1 to 2 weeks. I really didn't think it was gonna take, I mean, I got my blood drawn on last Monday, so like 10 days ago at this point, but oh well. Okay, I need to stop babbling and go finish these things so I can get in bed. I'm gonna go ahead and end this vlog here. If you liked this video, if you made it all the way to the end, comment below with a doggy emoji for my friend's new puppy. And if you like this video, if you like these weekly vlogs, hopefully they're gonna be a little bit more exciting as I got a little bit of energy back this week. I definitely felt a lot better this week than I have in weeks past. And now that I can actually like tell you and include pregnancy things in the vlog, hopefully they will. I'm planning to continue them until Vlogmas, and then Vlogmas will be everyday vlogs. Whew. And then we'll see what the new year holds. But anyway, okay, goodbye. You know, I also feel like,